So of all places that I could find the best lighting was inside my Christmas tree. I've been meaning to do this video for a long time. I just never could really get the time for it. I'm in a different department right now. I'm TDY. Yes, the Air Force puts you in apartments sometimes. That's a whole other video. So the way how I'm gonna do this video is I'm gonna explain my journey, I guess you could call it, into trying to become a pilot. And that in turn will explain some of the avenues that you can take to become a pilot. So if you're in high school right now watching this, you're in like the perfect time frame to make this happen. So ever since I was a little kid, from the time that I can remember, I love flying. Like when we went on a trip somewhere, that's what I look forward to the most, was not the trip, but the flight. And unfortunately, that's still true. I love flying. And I remember as a kid, one of the first times I remember getting in trouble actually was a helicopter had landed in the middle of our town. I grew up in a really kind of not a rural town, but it was pretty much a rural town. And the helicopter lands out in the middle of the town. I see it from my house. We're probably about a mile or a mile and a half away. And I think I was 6 years old. I just beelined for wherever no shoes on, wherever that helicopter was landing. It was one of those medevac helicopters. And I ran out just to watch the helicopter take off. Totally got in trouble when I came home, but more so because, I mean, imagine your kid just ran away and you don't know where he went. But do I regret it? No, it was freaking awesome. As soon as I was old enough, I started researching how do I become a pilot in the Air Force. My dad was in the Air Force when I was a kid, and he started off as a bomb loader, so every now and then I was able to see like the jets on the flight line and stuff like that. And I was like, I love it. Like, that's what I want to do. By the time I got into middle school, I figured out that if I wanted to fly for the Air Force, I needed to be an officer. So I knew I needed to go to college and get a degree. And getting a degree, the free way would be through the Air Force Academy. So that was my primary goal. I wanted to go to the Air Force Academy. So that's a 4-year school out in Colorado Springs that upon graduation from this 4-year school, you're commissioned as a second lieutenant in the Air Force. As soon as I remember I was too young to, when I first learned about this, to obviously apply. So I used to count down the years till I could submit my application to the Air Force Academy. Did everything I could leading up to that point to try to be competitive for the Air Force Academy. So running for class office, doing sports, volunteering in the community, trying to get a job as soon as I could so I could show some work experience. Everything that I did revolved around getting into the academy. The only thing that always held me back was I suck at school, like when it comes to grades, and it's a pretty big point that they're looking for. So I had a 3.1 GPA when I graduated high school. Of course, by the time I applied, I was only about 2 or 3 years into high school. However, I applied my junior year. That's right, I applied my junior year. Got a letter back saying thanks but no thanks. They said I wasn't competitive enough based off of my grades. So I was like, well, shoot, now what? I end up looking at plan B. So another way that you can still commission as an officer is doing something called Air Force ROTC. It's called the Reserve Officer Training Corps, ROTC. Those take place at various college campuses, right? So you're going to school and you're taking these extra classes for something called Air Force ROTC. And what that basically entails is some extra classes and some summers that you have to do some training. But after those 4 years, you're an officer, meaning I can be a pilot. They had various types of scholarships to help pay for college when you're doing Air Force ROTC. Now, of course, they're competitive. So the only way I could afford college was with an ROTC scholarship. And there were some colleges I could afford that didn't have Air Force ROTC, but I wanted to try to go for those colleges with Air Force ROTC first. Apply for a scholarship, and I remember it was one sentence back after I submitted everything. You have not been selected for a scholarship, and I was like, cool. So I went and decided what I was gonna do instead. Plan C was enlist. This is 2010 now. I was gonna enlist and then try to commission through something called Officer Training School. And that's another option. So you got the Air Force Academy, Air Force ROTC, and Officer Training School are generally your 3 routes to commissioning as an officer. There's a couple medical programs you can do as well. For example, they have an awesome PA program that you can do through the Air Force to try to commission. They'll have some prereqs for that. I enlist, wait to ship out, decide last minute I want to go to college instead. I don't want to join the military just yet. So that's what I do. So fast forward to 2016. I still want to be a pilot really badly. By now I'm married, got a ton of college debt, and I had like $12 in my bank account at any given time. So I was like, all right, we got to figure something out quick. And after about a year of conversation with my wife, I decided to enlist in the Air Force, still with the goal of becoming a pilot. I enlisted in the summer of 2016, right? That kind of brings us up to present day. So right now, I'm getting closer and closer to the age where I need a waiver to try to fly and / get too old to fly, period. I started my private pilot's license in January of this year because I'm finishing up my degree online right now, and I'm working, obviously. It's been a little slow going, so I've racked up about 50 hours or so, and I'm getting close to finally finishing. Once I finish, I'm trying to put in an officer training school packet whenever those dates open up. Right now there's none open, so I'm waiting to see when one's going to open up again. So my goal at 27 is still to fly. Unfortunately, it's also really expensive. That's another reason why the private pilot's license has taken so long. I would give anything to just, even if it didn't pay very much, I would love to fly. If you have any questions about trying to fly, let me know. I could have dragged this story out to like 30 minutes long, but biggest takeaway, 3 avenues to commission: officer training school, Air Force Academy, Air Force ROTC. The biggest thing that I can recommend is keep your grades up, because at the end of the day, that's going to be huge. And the habits you develop, if you're still in high school right now and watching this, the habits you develop now definitely carry over. Because I remember thinking, like, these grades aren't going to matter. Like, nobody's really going to care. And my grades weren't that bad. Like I said, I averaged about a 3.0. But you know, they want the best of the best. Hopefully that all made sense. Again, let me know if you have any questions. And thanks for watching.